What's going on, everyone? Hello again, amigos. And you are my amigos, the great beer here. I initially said that I would not be covering Saturday night's main event. I said it on Max on Thursday, considering that I had zero emotion going into the show. And that I did not care about the show because the card looked so weak. But obviously, with the stakes that was raised on SmackDown, let's not get into SmackDown for Christ's sakes. I like the show amazingly because I everyone's gonna have the impression that the show was gonna be fucking terrible, but there was things I liked. There was maybe a thing or two I did not like, but we're gonna get to that. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So Saturday night's main event. I will not cover the pre-show, even though my guy Trick Williams was on the show, faced the Laredo Kid from AAA. I will not be covering that. So, opening match. Fatal Influence. Laney Reed and Fallon Henley facing Paige and Brie Bella. Brie Mo. Fuck out of here. Get rid of that shitty theme song. For the Women's Tag Team Championships. Starts off with Reed and Paige start as the exchange punches. Brie tags in for a double team knee strike on Laney. Brie hit an arm drag and a drop kick. Did you know that Brie Bella dropped a video of her being trained by Bryan Danielson and has a slight bit of improvement, but I still think she sucks. I don't give a fucking shit. Henley tags in with a forearm on Brie. Brie came back with a knee and she sent Henley into the turnbuckle. Paige then hit Henley with a knee. Paige and Brie hit a double team bulldog for a 2 count on Henley. Laney makes the blind tag. Henley sent Paige into the top rope and slammed her down. Reed took over for a team as she stomped away on Paige. The thing though is that I think Laney Reed is the most underrated women's wrestler in the whole company. She's so damn good, man. I'll go at the end of this match just in a few moments. So Henley sends Paige into the rope. Reed took over for the team. She stomped away on Paige. Henley hit Paige with a forearm. Reed stomped on Paige and grabbed a chinlock. Davey Boy Smith chinlock. We know that. Shout out Wrestling Bios. Paige reverse hit a jawbreaker. Reed sends into the turnbuckle. Paige gets the tag in to Brie, tagged with some clotheslines. Brie hits a Russian leg sweep, followed by the yes kicks for a cheap pop. Yeah, we love Brian. Brie hit a roundhouse kick on Reed. Brie then hit some running knees on both opponents. This looked pretty decent, actually, even though I still think Brie Bella sucks. Fuck you, Bella Rami. Brie jumped off the top with a missile drop kick for a 2 count. Brie then went for the yes lock. Henley got to the ropes for a break. Henley then hit a face buster to send Brie into the mat. Paige got back in and worked on Henley with knees. JC Jane. Oh, she looked fucking gorgeous, by the way. JC Jane was on the apron. Paige hit her with a right hand. Henley gave Paige a German suplex off the ropes. Brie then saves Paige, so Laney missed a moonsault, which looked quite good, by the way. Laney has such a good moonsault. Paige got a roll for a 2 count, and Henley makes the save. Henley sent Brie out of the ring. And then Paige sends Henley out of the ring. Laney then gets a 2 count. Reed punched Paige with the left hand. Paige gets a kick into Laney's face with JC again, distracting the referee Jessica Carr. We love Jessica, but man, she got distracted so easy. But then again, the way JC looked, I'd be distracted too. Let's be very freaking clear here. Reed hit Paige with the left arm. And then Fallon Henley was busted open, by the way. There was a little bit of blood in this show tonight. It was very weird, unlike WWE. Brie then knocked off the apron briefly. Paige sat on top of Reed for a pin attempt. JC then shoved Paige so that Reed went on top. And they got a 3 count. 7 minutes, 15 seconds. 100% the right call. That means we get more Fatal Influence on Raw, and they could end up going on to NXT as well. So that was good. I thought this was very solid. Lainey Reed is maybe the best kept secret in WWE. I think she's so good. I was very concerned about her being called up from NXT after only been there for about a year, but hell, she is very good. Now, at the end, as the women were going to the back, there was a little a kid that pushed Fallon Henley. And then, as they were celebrating, then Fallon turned around to the little prick and actually said, "Don't touch me." Let me say before I'm going to get to the next match, do not, I repeat, do not touch wrestlers without their consent. Seriously. I think Lainey had this as well before the match started. I'll have to go back and check that because I think it happened to Lainey as well. So this little kid, I hope he got taught a valuable lesson. Fucking clown. Sami Zayn backstage wearing his Justice for Sami shirt. I tell you what, I might buy that shirt actually. As Kath Kelly was there for an interview, she looked great as always. Sami said he's trying to choose his words carefully, just not because he is the victim. Zayn claimed that everything that has happened to him is egregious. Zayn said that CM Punk and Cody Rhodes had to say when to set up their SummerSlam match. Sami called Nick Aldis to complain about it, and now he has to team with a man who claims Sami is not on his level in Gunther. Gunther arrived to tell Zayn to stay out of his way and do not ruin SummerSlam for Gunther. Zayn said nothing while Gunther left. Good. I liked it. Show more celebrities at ringside. This includes Terrence Crawford, some loser named Neon. Right, before I'm going to get to this next match with Danhausen and JD McDonagh, there was that streamer Neon who I've never heard of in my life. He recorded live streamed, and it was Penta without his mask. All it was Penta's face paint. So to that idiot, and then he was told, I think today for the SummerSlam countdown show, don't know why it's today, SummerSlam's not for another 2 weeks, that he's not allowed to record or stream anymore. Good. Well done, security guard. Loved it. We then get O'Shea Jackson, and then they have my guy Chuck Williams in the crowd. And we do get then a video package for Danhausen and JD McDonagh. Backstage with Liv Morgan, Grim, Get Her Off My Television, interviewed by Jackie Redmond, who I do not want removed from television. JD said he's going to get rid WWE of Danhausen with no more games. Now, as JD McDonagh was on his way to the ring, that little kid again, he must have been at least 8 or 9. And he was caught giving the bird to JD McDonagh. Kids these days, man, they don't know fucking manners, don't they? So Danhausen makes his entrance in his unique car, over as usual, and there was a cloning machine in the aisle. So it starts Danhausen once occurs Dominic. So JD attacks Danhausen from behind with some chops. Both left the ring, which leads JD sending Danhausen to the barricade and ring post. JD and Dominic took turns on slamming Danhausen. This was a no DQ match, by the way. Why? God knows. Get back into the ring. JD hit an elbow drop off the middle rope for a 2 count. Dominic was wiping Danhausen's Knicks jersey onto his boots, which got a lot of heat, by the way. JD sent Danhausen into the turnbuckle twice in a row. Danhausen got some punches in, but JD came back with a brainbuster for a 2 count. JD was handed the Knicks jersey, rubbed it on his ass, and put the jersey on Danhausen. Danhausen then moved out of the way of JD McDonagh's moonsault. Sweet moonsault McDonough's got, by the way. JD then put on his Knicks jersey, so the fans cheered for that. After some JD slaps, Danhausen fights back with some punches, an atomic drop and a clothesline. Dominic was then in the ring, so Danhausen hit an explosive suplex. Danhausen splashed JD into the turnbuckle. JD gets a counter for a 2 count. Danhausen countered and moved into a stunner for a 2 count. Dominic went into the ring again and stomped on Danhausen, which led to a lot of boos. And then it got worse as JD and Dom ripped the Danhausen Knicks jersey. Man, this was such fucking heat, man. JD and Dom were looking for a table, so Danhausen walked away to the cloning machine in the aisle. There were 3 mini Hausens at ringside, basically making the AAA Mega Champion, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonagh, who I think is the most underrated guy on the roster, look like bombs. Fucking ridiculous. So I think these are guys from AAA. I don't know. 3 mini Hausens. Same what we had a Backlash when they faced Miz and Kit Wilson or whatever the fuck baby it was. Mini Hausens didn't jump on JD and Dom on the floor. And then they both beat up the 3 mini Hausens at ringside. Danhausen's then onto the top of the alleyway and put the stuffed cat into the cloning machine. If you didn't see SmackDown on Friday, Danhausen was interviewed by beautiful Jackie Redmond or Kathy Kelly. I don't know. They're both gorgeous. And then there was a stuffed cat. So then the cloning machine would start making a noise, and there was an explosion with Carl Anthony Towns, who was called Cathausen. Fans went crazy for the New York Knicks Center. He was about 7 foot tall. The dude's fucking huge, by the way. So he's Wade Barrett making me laugh, saying he's too big, he's not allowed in the match. Man, I love Wade Barrett. Fucking awesome. Danhausen told JD and Dom that they were cursed. McDonagh then charged Towns, who grabbed JD by the throat and hit a slam dunk choke slam, which I thought was sweet, by the way. 2 choke slams and one then on Dom was fucking sweet. I'll give it that. And Danhausen hits the reverse DDT, called it the Triple D. The Danhausen death drop for a 3 count. This match was okay. I mean, I wasn't exactly really much into this, but it just made me think JD McDonagh had banger matches in NXT. A good match with Finn. And this is how we're now booking JD McDonagh. Getting back down to NXT. Gonna have banger matches. Gonna have a banger match with Tony D'Angelo. Lyra, Valkyria backstage, looking a bit rough with the hair and doesn't wear much makeup anymore. Now, Lyra still looks fucking gorgeous, even without makeup, by the way. Lyra said to Kathy Kelly last time she was in this arena, her and Bayley were wrestling for the women's tag team titles. Kathy asked if Lyra would be done with Bayley after the match. Lyra claimed she needed Bayley to be who Lyra needed to be. And Lyra said after tonight, Bayley will be out of her head forever. Going to commercial break. We come back. There's a video package about Fanatics Fest from New York City from the past weekend. They show more celebrities. God almighty. We got Michael Rubin. Who? Lin-Manuel Miranda. Who? Jeff Ross. And Cooper DeJean of the Philly Eagles. God, man, who cares about these celebrities? We get Bayley before the match starts. Interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Bayley said that this is a different one because she's making history for over a decade. Bayley then said she'll end Lyra before she got even started. Now, this is going to defy opinions. Lyra had new theme music. I like it. It's a bit of a darker version of what she had initially. I liked it, but many people can agree to disagree. It's entirely up to yourselves. Don't care what people's opinions are. It's entirely up to you. Lyra comes out first. She looked fucking miserable as usual, which is pretty cool. Bayley comes out to no pop. Why? Man, Bayley got absolutely nothing in MSG. Man, that was hard. And I love Bayley. It was lock up to start. Bayley connected with some punches. Bayley pulled Lyra out of the ring. And Lyra acted like she was messed up mentally. And there was a big forearm to the nose by Bayley on Lyra. And she was bleeding a lot on her nose. Man, it was a fucking forearm and a half to Lyra. Referee gave Lyra a towel for the blood, and then Bayley attacked. Bayley went for a neck breaker off the ropes, and then Lyra shoved her back. Lyra pulled on Bayley's arm, sent Bayley's shoulder into the ropes. Lyra then shoved her again. Lyra pulled on Bayley's arm to tap Bayley's shoulder. They replayed again, and I tell you what, that hit Lyra badly on the nose. Lyra's one tough bitch, by the way. And I heard some nerds all saying that she looks greasy now like her husband, LJ Clary. Let me tell you what, LJ Clary is a very respected wrestler in the independent circuit who will probably punch you in the face. So no fucking LJ Clary slander. Lyra then grabbed the rope and flipped into up to top of the floor. Bayley hit a crossbody on Lyra. Lyra then hits a snapmare followed by a knee drop to the face. Lyra stepped on Bayley's face by the ropes. Bayley then fights back. It's a back body drop. Bayley managed to roll up Lyra for a 2 count. Bayley then hits a Boston Crab. People were insinuating it was a Walls of Jericho, but Lyra got out of that. Bayley hits another neck breaker near the ropes for a 2 count. Lyra then pulled Bayley's hair by the turnbuckles with like a neck breaker on the ropes. Pretty neat. Lyra jumped off the top rope with a leg drop to the back of the neck for a 2 count. Lyra looks for a spin kick. Bayley caught her and hit an overhead suplex. Bayley hit a sunset powerbomb into the turnbuckles, a move I don't like, by the way, because after what happened to Bella. I hate, it's like a buckle bomb. I fucking hate that move. Bayley then takes down Lyra, leading to a crossface submission. Bayley grabbed Lyra by the waist, and Lyra sent Bayley throat first into the top rope. Bayley fired up and told Lyra to bring it. Lyra countered Bayley and did a hip toss. Lyra then applied a tight bulldog headlock takedown and then put it into a submission. And Bayley then passed out. Lyra picks up the win. This was, for me, the match of the night. I liked this match. People said it was rough, saying that there was no chemistry. I like the match. This is going to show that Lyra, as a heel, is going to work. I think it's going to work. It's just down to the fucking creative team. Here's my plan. Lyra to beat Saul. Give Lyra a 9-month reign as an Intercontinental Champion. She kills everybody. After the match, Lyra literally kicked Bayley out of the ring, said to get the fuck out of my way. Lyra picked Bayley up and then hit a Nightwing on the steel stairs. There's always going to be questions about Bayley. Did an interview last year, I think, with CVV and said that a lot of people having an insinuation that she is not happy with the creative. There's always going to be talks about Bayley going to AEW, considering that Mercedes teased her and Bayley at Wrestle Dream. If she goes to AEW, I'm all for it because we can get the match. But then the question beckons is what's after that for Bayley? Are you going to have the match and just rush it, or are you going to let it marinate to take it into Revolution? That's what I do. But if Bayley re-signs with the company, I'll be shocked. So it looks like WWE is going to go more of a younger direction. Commercial ad for Stand and Deliver and AAA's Internal Glory. It's in New York City during WrestleMania weekend next year. I'm not looking forward to WrestleMania next year. It's in Saudi Arabia. I couldn't care. We're just going to have just random fucking matches. except the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber winners. You have your package for the main event. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes against Sami Zayn and Gunther. Both interviewed by Kathy Kelly backstage. Can they coexist, pal? As it says in the thumbnail. Cody said that they're going to coexist, claiming that they're friends, and I've waited for this match for years. We didn't get the chance for the match in AEW, which was a bit disappointing because I'd have loved Cody and Punk in AEW. Cody said that their friends have been brothers and are partners for tonight, but they are opponents for SummerSlam. Punk said tonight they have to make sure that it's one-on-one. Cody wondered who'd go out first, but his music hit first. You don't have to champion going out firstly, which I don't like. Punk comes out, massive pop as usual for Cole personality. And then you get Gunther coming out. And Sami was sort of getting cheered. So it's very strange what they're doing with Sami Zayn. And even though I still think Sami should have had a run by the title. But they're trying to sell tickets for SummerSlam because WWE are just ripping off their fucking fans. So, as announced on SmackDown, stipulation is if Cody and Sami win, they're added to the championship match at SummerSlam, which means be a fatal four-way, which I would have been down for, but we're going to get to that. So, as soon as Sami got into the ring, Punk goes after him, and the four men exchange punches. Punk and Zayn with a legal man to start. Cody then gets a tag and hits a double axe handle on Sami. Cody hits Zayn with the left knee to the ribs. Punk gets a tag and hits a double axe handle of his own on Sami. After Zayn put Punk into the heel corner, Gunther tagged in and shot Punk out of the ring. This looked nasty, by the way. Gunther gave Punk a belly-to-back slam against the top of the barricade. Cody went over to Punk, put him back in the ring. Zayn worked over Punk with some punches and headbutts. Punk shoves Zayn off the turnbuckle, and Punk hits a crossbody block on Zayn. There were tags, so Cody hit Gunther with a forearm and a power slam, then hits a disaster kick on Gunther. Cody sends Sami out of the ring, hits a Cody cutter on Gunther. Cody then hits a suicide dive onto Zayn onto the floor. Cody goes back in the ring and hits a Cody cutter again on Gunther for a 2 count. That's a disaster kick, so apologies there. So it was a Cody cutter. Gunther hits a snapmare, and Sami gets the tag. Sami countered Rhodes and sat on top for a 2 count, like the way that he won the title at Nia Champions. Zayn hits a Blue Thunderbomb for a 2 count. Sami then goes for the haluva kick, and Cody got out of the way. Hot tag. Punk comes in, and Sami hits a top rope clothesline. Punk hits a neckbreaker alongside the Bulldog. Punk jumped off the top rope and hit the Randy Savage elbow drop and applied the Anaconda Vice. Cody goes into the ring and hits a figure-four leg lock on Gunther. Right before I thought there was going to be a submission, I thought, you cannot get these two to tap. Gunther then gouges Punk's eyes to get Punk breaking up the hold. Zayn went after Cody with some punches. Zayn hits the exploder suplex into the turnbuckle. Sami then hits the haluva kick on Punk, but Cody was still in the ring to hit the crossroads. Gunther then hits a lariat on Cody, and he goes for the lariat then on Punk. Punk avoids it and hits the GTS. All 4 guys were down, and crowd going crazy saying this is awesome. This was awesome, by the way. Great match, but I did prefer Bayley and Lyra a bit more. Punk tries to get the tag. Cody was out on the floor. Gunther sends Punk into Cody into the apron. Now, this is where shit got interesting. So I thought, is this going to be where Cody and Punk were going to start having a little impromptu brawl? Which I thought was pretty neat. Cody then gets back up and gets the tag. Cody gets on the apron. While Punk was in the sleeper hold on by Gunther. Gunther then hits a crossroads on Gunther. Gets a 2 count with Sami breaking up the pin. And with Charles Robinson getting the bump too. Punk hits a GTS on Sami, and Sami bumps to the floor. Punk and Cody turns and punches and chops on Gunther. Cody jumps off the ropes. Gunther moved as Cody hits Punk off the apron. Cody gets a boot to the face by Gunther. Gunther left the ring to grab the WWE Championship belt. I sound like Brett when I say that. Gunther then hits Cody in the head with the WWE title and tosses out the ring. Gunther hits a powerbomb as Gunther was yelling for another official to come down to the ring. And there's a 1, 2, and then Nick Aldis pulled out the referee out of the ring. Aldis then grabs the WWE Championship, and Gunther's yelling, "What the fuck you doing?" And Nick Aldis hits Gunther. Punk hits the GTS, whereas then Punk put Cody on top of Gunther. And Charles Robinson wakes up for the 1, 2, 3. Great match. If you did not see the Summerslam kickoff show that was today, Nick Aldis and Gunther is confirmed. So we are going to get the National Treasure back. We're going to get some fucking tards that's all going to say, "Oh, is he any good?" I've met Nick Aldis. I met him in Manchester when TNA was over with Impact at the time. Was in Manchester. Good dude. I think he was in character, but he looked a very good dude. So we are getting the National Treasure, and let's hope we hear "God Save the King" as his theme song. Post-match, this is where the tiniest things you have to pay attention to. Cody presented Punk with the WWE title belt, and then they hugged. Cody raised Punk's hand. When Punk put the title on his shoulder, the belt hits Cody in the face. Like the end of the strap hits Cody right in the face. There was then backstage tension after the show went off the air. It's only the little things you have to pay attention to, which was good shit. So, like that, hopefully it will lead to one of them turning heel. Please turn Cody heel. And Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon, who are the hosts of the show, they run down the SummerSlam lineup. So this is what we got at the moment. We got Punk Cody. Banger. Can't wait. Don't get me started on this interim women's championship ladder match. So far, it's Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Why is JCJ not in the match? I'll never know. We got LA Knight, Hobbs, as I will not call him Royce Keys. He'll always be Hobbs, and Solo Sikoa against the Usos and Jacob Fatu. Penta defending the Intercontinental title against Chad Gable. Going to be a banger. Cannot wait for that match. Women's title match. Liv Morgan against Io Sky. Io's got to win. Please save the championship because they know what WWE are doing. If you check out Max Wrestling on our YouTube channel for the show that I do, I did an emergency extra match to get my thoughts in on the whole Rhea Ripley situation and why the idea is fucking terrible. Over family Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell, and then we get Roman against Seth. And then there was a commercial that says SummerSlam tickets are now going to be at $25. So it's going to be about 22 quid over here. It just shows that TKO's greed is just fucking embarrassing. Closing segment. My God, this was so fucking nauseating. And I love Roman. Roman, I love you. But fuck me, this was terrible. We got Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks down the aisle with Roman. I, at this point, wanted to just say, I'm going to fucking bed. This was fucking garbage. Roman presents Jalen with his own World Heavyweight title belt. And then the crowd were chanting Jalen Brunson and MVP. Seth Rollins music hits, I was thinking, please, Rollins has got to save this segment because it was completely cringe and nauseating. But we get Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers arrive. Tyrese actually did miss the whole of last season with a torn Achilles tendon. So then Seth Rollins attacks Roman from behind with some forearms. Rollins stomps on Reigns in the ring. Tyrese then handed Rollins a steel chair. Seth Rollins warned Brunson to stay out of this. Rollins hits a super kick on Roman. Seth claimed that this is going to be the end for Roman. He subs with a curb stomp. Brunson stood in front of Rollins. Rollins tells Brunson that this is his house, and then Roman hits the Superman punch and then hits a spear to close the show. Who's the heel? Who's the heel in this? Is it Roman or is it Rollins? For me, this match makes no sense unless you are going to have, unless you would have had Rollins to win King of the Ring. And you look at the whole bloodline situation, is that you've got Jacob. This is what's so freaking confusing. It's like you got the Usos pretty much heels. Jacob is still over. LA Knight, who I think's been in the bloodline vortex now for nearly 2 years. It's carbon copy what they've done with Kevin Owens. God, Kevin Owens is back soon. I miss that guy so much. Solo Sikoa is, I don't know. Hobbs gets no reaction. I love Hobbs. I think Hobbs is going to get there. If I had to give an honest opinion, I would give this show, I would say a solid 6. Was it the greatest Saturday Night's Main Event ever? No. Was it quite fun in some ways? Yes. MVP of the night, Lyra Valkyria, without a doubt. Match of the night, Bayley Lyra, without a doubt. But however, again, I'll just reiterate before I head off. Bayley to AEW, I ain't saying no. If she stays, I'll be shocked. But she did always mention that she wanted to work in TNA. So, who knows? I don't know what's going to happen with Bayley. So this is your Saturday Night's Main Event review. I put on my Twitter that my work schedule this week is very healthy, so I can get more reviews done for y'all. Because I love everybody, I'm going to punish myself and I'm going to watch Collision. So at the moment, I'm getting this done. I'm going to watch Collision, which I'm going to drop for you tomorrow night. I might try and drop Raw done for you by Tuesday. NXT, I will not cover NXT because I do it on Max Wrestling every week. Dynamite, I'll try and get it done for you Thursday. Impact, yes, I will be covering TNA. I will be dropping that maybe as early as possibly after the show goes off the air. I don't know yet. Anyway, Saturday Night's Main Event review done for you. If you are new, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell button because you'll get notifications sent straight away for you. And you're all going to be shocked thinking, he's doing a review. So yes, so I am getting back to my reviews for you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Adios. Tally-ho! Subscribe to Max Wrestling as well.